Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Schwartz. I'm here doing this publication myself. I've ran out of friends. They all were used against me and helped try to get me locked up. The VA tried to do it 3 times, and the troopers asked me, how many times they done it? Well, after my probation, that Judge Smith, which this CD here is about, 07-78444, copy number 1, stipulates that basically I threatened to kill myself for what Judge Smith put me through. Judge Heath participated in the other judicial councils on the judicial members, pretty much let him off the hook. And let's explain how this was done. In 07, Channel 11 News, not the station that's owned by the new owners now, but the old owners, asked me where I was. I told them. And about 15 minutes later, I have a chopper with a floodlight over me. Bright as day, nighttime. Anyway, this chopper was have a flight over me. There's 4 men, full of body armament, weapons locked and loaded, shields on, full protective gear. They slide down these ropes. They detain me until the slew of sirens coming down the highway meets me out off Church Road. There's so many cars. It's about a quarter-mile road, and there's cars on both sides. TV station out there to slander me to the hilt, put me on the media so I can be locally portrayed as a possible terrorist out to kill a judge. Well, Judge, the reason this is happening in 05, when the Secret Service interrogated me for 2 hours, realized that I didn't threaten to kill President Obama and didn't get charged for terroristic threatening, Judge Smith made sure that I did. And this is how he did it. The judge stated in court that I called him on his chamber's phone, which, Joe Citizen can't do anything but file a motion to the clerk's office and appear before a judge in the judge's courtroom. I'm not sure if attorneys can talk to the judge in chambers, but I know Joe Citizen can't. Anyway, Judge Smith stated that I threatened to kill him. So the troopers didn't just believe the judge was telling the truth. They went out and arrested me. This confession here pretty much says I threatened to kill myself for what the judge put me through. That's why the judge didn't use this evidence in court to support his lie he told to the court. He stated I threatened to kill him and I called him on his chamber's phone and threatened to kill him. Well, that's a lie. But then again, the Judge Smith is just like all other criminals. They don't expect to get caught. Well, Judge Smith didn't use that evidence, so I wouldn't have anything to file in court, in appellate court, even if I could file in appellate court, which I couldn't. Judge Heath protected Judge Smith. Let's see, how did he do that? Well, he made sure I couldn't have direct or indirect contact while on probation. To include, probation ran out 2 months before statute of limitations. Statute of limitations ran out 2 months before probation. The Judicial Council stated I clearly could have filed an appeal. Clearly, I couldn't have because I couldn't file an appeal during probation because there was indirect contact. Filing an appeal would be indirect contact. And statute of limitations ran out 2 months before I got off probation. So the Judicial Council protected Judge Smith, Judge Heath protected Judge Smith, and Judge Smith protected himself. Now, if we didn't have all these clever judges, wouldn't you think our justice systems wouldn't have a full prison? In fact, the state's brand new prison is overfull. That's because the justice system's funded by the federal government. When our federal government falls through, how are we going to sustain our justice systems to include our prisons that's got a full of prisoners, but most of them are probably improperly incarcerated? Prime example, Judge Smith lied, stated I called him on his chamber's phone and threatened to kill him. He didn't use this evidence. He didn't use this evidence because it wouldn't convict me of anything. He didn't know Judge Heath protected Judge Smith and the Judicial Council let him off the hook. The reason I'm doing this video is because someone said that I wasn't clearly identifying the reasons. Well, I hope I've clarified the reasons. And our government's going to fall through eventually and go into a recession. When that happens, what happens to the federal funding that sustains our government's judicial system to include the prisons that's full of prisoners that probably most likely, like me, were just unjustly prosecuted because judges have to fill the system. And the worst part about this, these judges never expected to get caught. But then again, all criminals don't expect to get caught. The other thing about it, judges are above all laws. They're man-made gods. You can't do anything to them. I'm not going to. I'm hoping you, the public, will expose this and put a stop to this. And one thing about this, most people in the lower 48 think that If a police officer commits a crime, there's nothing you can do to the police officer or the justice system. Under Section 1983, a New York law firm told me about this, and they sent me some information, told me where to look and hurdles and whatnot. Under Section 1983, you cannot sue a state or federal, municipal, or local government agency or law enforcement, but you can sue those who misrepresent state or local agencies, except one exception. Judges are immune from prosecution. Even if they're off the bench, you're immune from prosecution. But the people that's in charge of the judges, they're not immune from prosecution. Police officers are not immune from prosecution. They don't publicize this information, particularly because that's a loophole in the law they don't want the public to know. So basically, I'm doing this video to hopefully clear my name so I can start a business the state stole from me. The reason the state slandered my name so bad is no one would give me a job, and I haven't been able to get a job since I've been slandered and falsely portrayed to be a possible terrorist of my own country, which I served my country for 6 long years. But let's look a little bit further. The state of Alaska was misled to my true abilities. How was that? In the military, I served my country, and Alaska was a prime example post. What do I mean by that? They made prime examples to get rid of troops, reduce the size of the military force. Except for one thing, I was room commander and squad commander, acting sergeant, specialist E4, communications, secret. I turned in my weapon, turned in my ammo, and locked up my secret material in the company's safe. Long story short, chain of command had the right to detain, not to obtain. The charges against me were dropped. I had them on possession to include contaminating top secret material. Had them on 2 charges. I had 8 witnesses, 3 of them of which still reside in the state of Alaska. Now, by the state of Alaska, military dumped me out in state and portrayed me to be an idiot. Then the state of Alaska figures, well, heck, we can take this business plan, do it for ourselves, and we'll portray him to be a terrorist. Sad part about that is, if President Obama imposes martial law, I'm a dead man. Everybody that's in prison is a dead man. We didn't serve our country to feed society's prison system, which we do. Worst part about this, by the state of Alaska changing my identity, because according to API, Alaska Psychiatric Institute, they have me as a black man from Kotzebue. API and LifeQuest, which I sued, they changed the name, went back to business called Matsu Behavioral Health. They have a record showing that I didn't serve in the military and didn't graduate high school. And that would be true if I didn't win those 3 appeals against the Veterans Administration showing they denied life support. I had to prove I would have died in flight to win that appeal. To include, I proved that they were responsible for back surgery and collarbone surgery. And how did I do this? I had my own personal records. My parents told me a long time ago they used to own a business in Galena, Kansas. Ford's Drugstore, the only pharmacy in town. Parents told me if you don't have a place to keep your records, send them home, which I did. Those records that they kept, they finally sent to me after Joplin Missouri's hospital moved off its foundation. Mom and Dad sent the records. Thank God the house didn't get by a tornado because they had the records in the attic. But I have those records on the internet. The account's Hey Vern, it's Robert. This video's on there with it. But this video is pretty much to explain that the justice system portrayed me to be a terrorist of my own country, just so the state of Alaska can get away with stealing the multi-million-dollar business plan that would have got us veterans out of the street. With this change of identity, the VA and the state participated in producing for me. Now, if I leave the state, I'd be another veteran in a cardboard box. It's like all the other veterans' cardboard box. How do they do it? The state gave me a second identity. Now, Homeland Security, with 2 identities, I'm going to be locked up, detained, probably lost in the system. And they're going to believe all the records they produced fraudulently to produce a second identity. This is the wrong system for our country to continue. We didn't serve our country to be used to feed the prison system, and that's what's going on. And the mental health system, which is what's going on. Now, I'm taking a big chance of saying this right now, but if they do this, it's definitely going to put me in the street. The state of Alaska is paying me a Social Security disability as a shut up and do as you're told so we can get away with stealing your life, your future, and all the veterans get to stay in our prison system and our mental health system. That's right, I'm getting 40% mental disability. The troopers, law enforcement, we're all told I'm 100% mentally disabled. And with a mental disability, the media cannot put this on the air because you're supposed to be mentally ill. And that's a secret way of keeping you out of the public eyes. It's called a secret society. Our government has a lot of secrets. But this is one secret I'm exposing because us veterans who served our country should not be used to feed a system. Like the VA stated for years and years while I was on that probation, doped me up with medication. They kept telling me, you need to believe you're the person you was convicted of. Why would I need to believe I'm that person if I was already supposed to be that person? Now, I can't go back to the VA, and I can't call the VA. Captain Breeding, VA police chief, told me, don't call back, don't come back. No one cares about you, no one likes you. And they say Alaska's never refused health care. They refused back surgery, collarbone surgery, and denied life support. Not only that, they gave me 17 years of bad credit. I won the appeals for all 3. 2 more years of bad credit. I took those appeals to the collection agencies and said, see, they lost the appeals, I won. Take them off my credit history. I've been debt-free 4 years ago. Got my life together. But the VA's tried to lock me up since that probation. They locked me up in 2010, 2012, and tried 2014. When they weren't successful, the VA called businesses in the local community to have me arrested and locked up. That didn't work. A1 Pawn Shop on Main Street in Wasilla confronted me, well, not the owner, but the owner's son confronted me with his children in a public restaurant, Taco Bell, across from Wasilla PD on Parks Highway. Pretty much I put him in his place. I says, how can you have your children respect you when you're disrespecting me? They're going to become like your clientele that pawn stuff that's usually stolen, and it's just wrong. So pretty much the VA's lost out on all avenues of trying to have me incarcerated. They've used the public to slander me, which they have, and I can't get a job. I won't be able to get a job. More than likely, I'm going to probably lose my Social Security disability because I've exposed how our government's failing short by portraying us veterans to be terrorists, criminals, which we're not. And my business plan they stole was supposed to get us veterans out of their system. That hasn't happened. Bill Walker knew about this. Governor Bill Walker knew about this in about 4 years ago, 3 years before he took office. And when I told him all this before I put it on YouTube, everything out of his mouth was, wow, wow, wow. You got the evidence? Yes, I do. Wow, wow. So I gave him to February 1st to clear this up, but this is one video that's going to be on there before February 1st. I'm going to send it to him. I'm going to send it to I'm going to send it to Senator Charlie Huggins, which used to be a veterans representative for the state of Alaska. I'm going to send it to Senator Mike Dunleavy. I'm also going to send it to Representative Wes Keller. I'm going to send it directly to Governor Bill Walker. Those are the only people I'm going to send it to. Other than that, all the other videos I have lined up after February 1st. If he doesn't do anything, he said he's going to make it transparent. Well, he worked on the National Guard. He's got about 10 days. Today's 20, 30, about 30, no, he's got till the 31st. He's got the 1st of February to clear this up and make it transparent. I pray to God, Bill, that you make it transparent and put a stop to this abuse. As veterans do not serve our country for this kind of treatment. You survived serving our country. We shouldn't have to survive living off the streets of Alaska and other countries in the state. So if I leave Alaska, I'm pretty much going to end up in a cardboard box, along with the other veterans in a cardboard box. And everybody's wondering, how come veterans live in a cardboard box? Easy. When a state produces a second identity and produces fraudulent medical records and court records, you get to be abused somewhere else all over again. And you wonder why veterans kill themselves. No, I'm not going to hurt myself or anybody else. All I want to do is start a business. I made an offer to the governor. Let's do a 50-50. The state and me work together and do a 50-50 partnership. Because God knows when I die, I can't take it with me. It's not what we do for ourselves on this planet. It's what we leave behind for others to expel and expand their lifestyles and our environment. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I hope that maybe someone out there has the backbone, tenacity to put a stop to what's been going on. Clean it up, because Alaska needs another industry. Oil is not working. We gave the big 3 a tax cut, and now they're cutting jobs on the North Slope, and it's basically cutting our throat. Our revenue is dwindling down. So I'm hoping and praying to God that everybody that's listening to this video can come to light that I'm not this person I've been portrayed to be. All I want to do is get us veterans out of their system they created. The VA says we need to get used to. The VA says, how they say it? You got to get used to the system. It's not going to change. I don't want to change it. I want to stop it. Have a nice day.